That might be even. I don't know. Welcome back, everybody. Tonight we got a few things to talk about, but we're going to do the announcements first, and then we'll get into a few things we're going to talk about, and then we'll get into the lesson tonight, which is the Legend of Time. We're going to be going over that story. It is in the DVD, of course, but we're going to do some more on that tonight. To give people an understanding of the origin of the Bigfoot. The announcements are that we do have 2 Facebook group pages that we link this to when we can. It seems now YouTube is not allowing us to share this to our group pages or our Facebook pages, but hopefully that'll get worked out. But if not, if someone can link this to the Oklahoma Bigfoot Predator Watch, Antlers, and surrounding areas in parentheses. And the other group page is Choctaw Missing and Murdered Woman, WOMBMAN, and Sun Center and Database. Those are the 2 group pages that we have on Facebook, although we haven't been able to link the stream to this in the last day or 2. So that's going on also. Also, the Bigfoot documentary DVD, I would say if you can get it as soon as you can, because we're having a lot of trouble with YouTube, and if we have to go to a different channel, we probably will have to start over. I'm not sure how the Rumble works or those other channels, but we're getting too glitchy. A lot of things aren't being viewed. Also, our sharing capabilities have been limited now. So we'll be looking for other ways to get this information to you. But the information right now is in that Bigfoot DVD. We do have the Cash App down here on the bottom right here. It's $ tracker, capital Ella. You can use that Cash App. Also the PayPal has been glitchy and releasing funds late, so we're also trying to move away from that. So we're gonna. We were talking about the spiritual warfare the other day, and how everyone is in this battle, but a lot of people don't know that they're in this battle. A lot of people don't know demons are real. Ghosts are here also, but they're not the harmful ones. It's the demons, the apparitions, or the Bigfoots, or the translucent predators that are in people's homes and can get into people's dreams and communicate that way also. So the other day, everyone knows that with our group pages, the Choctaw Missing and Murdered Woman, WMB and Son Center database, that we do track for the Choctaw people for if anyone comes up missing in wooded or mountain terrains, from campsites, roadside parks, hiking trails, swimming areas, or camping areas, not just out in the city or street or something like that. There are other groups for that, and you can find them also, but we specialize in tracking for missing people. And what we consider missing people are people who are, their daughter went outside to get the laundry off the line and is gone, or someone's friend went hiking and they didn't come back. Those are the people that we track for. Those are the ones we consider to us as missing because they were supposed to be in some area, some place, and they disappeared from that place that they are supposed to be at. We have found that a lot of missing people that in the cities and things like that are found with these other groups. They do a lot of urban searches and things like that with their connections. Those are the ones that you would need to contact with urban missing people or people in cities or small towns. But when it comes to mountain terrains, state parks, and things like that, that's what we do. So we had we was off tracking in different terrains for 3 weeks, Louisiana, Mississippi, around those areas. And when we got back, we wasn't back maybe 2 days or stuff like that. And another friend from Facebook messaged and said, "Have you heard about this missing person up around one of the state parks in Oklahoma?" And we said no, of course, because we just got back. And so they sent us the information, and it was a missing young lady, and she did put a distress call out for her sister. And that's what we do. We track for people like that. We help people like that. But that also, since it is a specialty that we do, that is also a good way to trap a lot of trackers, and also people who track wildlife and things like that. A lot of trackers have been set up to go hunt the big black bear, the big brown bear, which is like a code for Bigfoot. And we do know some people who were in those situations. But this was a call that we got a hold of. And this would have been a perfect trap for us, I guess you would say. And so we got a call on that, and we started looking into it. And so last that we heard, that no one had found this person, and that the family was still searching. I think it's going on day 3 or day 4, and so we got it. Immediately. We got our gear ready. We know what we need to take, but we had just got back from doing some track and locates for families and for friends in some other areas, and we don't charge for tracking for doing things like that for people, especially our friends who we know that they need the confirmation. So we was in between, because we did have some funds that were on hold, but they hadn't came through yet. So we also put a call out that we needed some funds just for gas, food, and water, while we're out there tracking. And but we didn't get, one response back, and but that was actually a good thing, because this was pretty much a pretty good setup for us, because even the description of someone who may have taken this person kind of fit our description, and it was just a perfect trap for us to go up there and get really interrogated or to be put in a different situation, because they were, as far as I know, they were looking for a person in the same area, same kind of vehicle. It just sounded like us, and that's where we was going to go and help track for this missing person. But luckily, those funds didn't come through. But at that same time, once people knew that we was coming or going to try to get up there to track, that they put out a flyer that she was found. And so we contacted the people who put the flyer out and just asked a few questions that, why was there no news story if this person was lost for 4 days and there were search teams out there? Why was there no coverage or anything like that? And they kind of got offended, and as to why. We were just asking if there were any news updates, any confirmation from, like a news report story or anything in the paper, any kind of confirmation that way. But they didn't give that. And then we found out that same flyer that said that she was found was taken down. So that's all the information we have on that. That is a different situation. Other people were involved in that. We weren't. So we don't have the information about that, but that is also a part of spiritual warfare, setting us up. Those are specially designed for people like us. And you will notice too, if you walk into a trapper, you're about to be set up, that it will be specially designed for you. Even in dreams, it'll be designed especially for you. So we avoided the pitfall. We avoided the negative energy, the things that just seem to want to corral us in this area. But luckily, everything worked out the way it was supposed to work out, because the very next day, after we know that they're found, so we don't have to worry about that anymore. But somebody should. Actually, we have some people kind of looking into that besides us. So, and they're more into they can get more information than we can, because
they're good at it. They're really, really good.
They're very good at it, and there's certain things that we don't ask certain agencies about. But the negative energy that day was designed for us. But like we were saying, almost, I think it was the very next day. We're back. We finally. I mean, we're not back, but the very next day, those funds arrive, and
that we had on hold that were coming.
Yeah, they were on hold, and we couldn't get to those, couldn't release them. But the money was finally released that day, not for going to the search and rescue or anything like that, but this is for some past things. And so that those funds were released just like after that day. So we couldn't use them, but now we have it to where we can uh, catch up on our bills and things like that. And but then we get another text um, that someone or close friend is in the hospital and that they needed some healing and that they'd like to see us actually. Um, Everyone knows that we are spiritual people and we do those battles. We will come and battle with you and push those demons out of your way and get them away from you, especially if they're in your homes. We've done that a couple times with friends. But this one was over a person. This one was over a body. So this was a fight for an energy, for a soul, for a friend, for a physical, for a natural being. So now they kind of insinuated that they really wanted to see us. And so the funds came in for this. So
not from them, just ours.
no, not from them. This is from past things that we had done, and that money was just on hold, but it was released at this time so that we could go to this spiritual war. And if I could ask Ella to kind of tell you that story of, just getting up there and just the whole thing until we got back home safe.
Well, if we had gone on the other trip, we wouldn't have been able to go on this one. So that how you miss the bus but avoid a wreck. It's one of those things that you think something's not working out, but then it turns out it actually did work out even for the better. There's a grander design in mind, and we're just as aware of that as y'all, or need to be just as aware of that as y'all. And so anyway, we went there and could smell rain a couple hours out. We went, and the person was very, very, very happy to see him coming in, and they were very scared. And we went with the intention of praying and casting out any unclean spirits that were attacking her. And we cleansed the room, we prayed over her, we provided comfort. Just his presence as a medicine man and a healer, very well known to this person. You could see the relief, and she did become more comfortable the longer that we stayed. There were definitely some shadows that we pay particular attention to, and any hospital is going to be like that. If you're a prayer warrior and that's just something that you're really good at, you could always walk the halls of any hospital and just pray for the people in there and pray for those demons to be cast out. Particular illnesses come from particular demons. That's their specialty. One might cause arthritis, one might cause migraines. We're not saying that there aren't physical reasons also for those things, but those are weaknesses, and these things know how to exploit that or start a little chink in the armor where you may be weak. So if you're a high stress individual, maybe they will work on blood pressure, but they're in control of the blood, things like that. So even if you weren't a believer, but someone wanted to pray over someone that is a believer, what would it hurt for them to pray to heal? We know that it works.
Yep.
But don't stop that flow of energy if someone else is trying to do that. And it may even be a perfect stranger that comes in. Of course, use your discernment. If they come in and you get a bad feeling from them, don't let them lay hands on your loved one or something like that. But other than that, welcome those prayers. So she did, and as we were leaving, later when we walked out, you could see it looked like the sky was boiling everywhere. There was no rain yet, but it looked almost like something out of a superhero movie kind of thing. The way it just rumbles and rolls there around Oklahoma City that night. Yeah. And you could hear the rumbling, and I looked up at it, and he said, "That storm is not for us." And we got in the car and we were leaving, and it did begin to rain, but the way the people were reacting to the rain on the way out just seemed like it didn't match what we were seeing. They all had hazard lights on and were pulling over to the side or going really slow, really becoming more of a hazard, I think, in times like that. But we just drove like normal and in the passing lane, and it was just clear. I mean, there was some rain, but all the lightning was way out in the distance in a circle. And just after we passed that whole chain of cars and got in front of them, maybe another 100 yards or so, all of the rain stopped. So they had all pulled over and were all frightened, but then the storm just disappeared, and that was pretty neat too. And it just more confirmation of spiritual warfare visually that we could see, and that was pretty cool.
Okay. Yeah. Whenever we got to the hospital to see our friend, people had been there before. I was told that people had visited this person before, but when we came in there, we didn't come in there as an acquaintance or a friend or someone that they knew us, even though they did know us well. We didn't come in there as someone they remembered us as, someone from maybe high school or past a long time ago, or we had been friends for a long time. We just hadn't seen each other in a long time. It was that kind of acquaintance. But when we went in as healers and medicine people. We didn't have any chit chat. We didn't have time for chit chat. We went straight to work. We knew this was a spiritual warfare. We knew demons had attacked. We got confirmation that a person had came and visited this person beforehand and had a lot of negative energy, and this happened right after. So we know that this person was attacked spiritually, and so everything worked out to where we got to go and do the battle. And you don't want us coming to do that battle. And the demons don't want us coming in there and doing that battle. Also, the person who we were with, we told him, we were the 2/3. We had man, we had Jesus. God was in there. We was throwing everything. We had medicine pouch that had long strings coming down. We was switching that around. We was going underneath every chair, the sofas, underneath the bed, in the closets, behind the TV, behind the bed. We were putting peppermint oil all around this person so that the air, demons don't like clean air. COVID, if you catch COVID, drink peppermint oil and water and get that inside you as quick as possible. That bacteria, that predator DNA that's in that COVID does not like anything clean. So I've seen people almost catch it, but drinking that, and in less than 3 days, it was back out of them. So plus use your minerals, and we want to do a healing with that also. But we went in there and we went to it. Ella, TrackerElla, pulled out the Bible, recited the verses, and you have to understand, when we go in, we know this is real. We know this battle is real. So we're not praying like someone would pray over, I don't know, sometimes dinner, but you know how you're doing your prayer, but you're doing it. But and I've seen it before in long places, and that's fine. But do your prayers, but also put your heart into those prayers. Put your mind, body, and soul into those prayers. Know that they work. Don't have any doubt that they don't work. And so we went and hammered everything in that hospital room. We was using the earth energies. We was using the feelings. We pulled the energies, the spiritual energies, the feelings of the body to come back into this body to heal this body and to repair it, because this body comes from this earth. So this earth can be, the energies of the earth can repair that, can fix it, and it will, and it has done that. But we went to war with it. This person, when they first seen us, and also if everyone has seen me, I have a yellow medicine, what we call ribbon shirt, and TrackerElla. She also wore her yellow shirt. So when we walked into that room, we was bright. We was, and when this person seen us, their eyes opened, because we didn't tell this person we was coming to see them. They had mentioned that they would, had liked to have seen us, but we didn't tell this person we was coming. And we said, don't tell them we're coming, but we will be there, because we don't even give a time or anything like that. But we did say that we finally got the funds and we are on our way. And so as soon as we came into the hospital room, this person seen us, and the eyes opened up. There was a smile, and some tears were shown. And this person said, "I'm glad you came." And we said, "This is as soon as we could get here." And we're here. But
even the tile in the ceiling.
yeah, I mean, there was so many places demons could come into this room. Tracker E and myself, we went, and there was a tile up in the ceiling that was loose to where something could come in through that way. We closed that up. We went through the bathrooms, showers, everything. We was swishing at everything. We was pushing everything out. We was letting these things know we are looking for them. And so this person, Tracker E was the first one. She jumped in and she started praying. And when she got through, the person, thanked her, and then I talked to Earth and asked for the spiritual and the feelings to come through and to help us, heal this person. And then we asked that person. We said, "But you have to pray for yourself too, and let Earth know, let Jesus know that you need this fixed and that you're right here and you're going to battle through it." Then this person told us that they were scared of, the situation, everything that they had been told could happen. And we told her, "Don't doubt this. It's going to be okay. You're going to get fixed. We just need you to fight right now. We need you to battle. And we need you to pray for yourself." And so she closed her eyes and she prayed. And whenever she opened those eyes back up, Tracker E went back to praying. I went back to praying. We laid hands on her. We focused our energies on that wound. We put our hands right on, not pressurizing, but right on above the injured area. And we for me, I was thinking, heal this area, heal her body, heal this, let that blood flow again, let it go through. And we stood there for at least an hour, at least maybe an hour and a half probably. And we were just holding our ground too. Some people came in the room and they left because they'd seen what we were doing. well, actually, everybody left that room, and that's the way we wanted it. We didn't want anybody in the room, but when we started, people vacated. People got out of the way to let us do what we was going to do. And if you had ever seen somebody, really use your energy to share your energy to heal somebody, to help somebody, um, you would have seen what we were doing. And if you would have taken pictures of our hands while we were doing this, you would have seen energy flowing out of it, because we've taken pictures like that before. I have in different ceremonies, and you can see the energy going out. So I know that we can focus it like that. So we stood over this person, and she would open her eyes, and she would see we were still there, and we were still praying for her, and she would go back to sleep. So it's about an hour and a half, but every time she woke up, she seen us holding hands, sharing energy. We was focused only on her. She was the only concern. We weren't there to see who was all there, talk to nurses or anything like that. We were there for her, and we let her know that we're only here for you, and we're here to heal you and share this energy with you. And we also brought her minerals, alkaline water to help her body also. And when she gets out from the hospital, we're going to have, and we want to do that healing. We'll do a healing session with everyone also on how to heal your bodies. We're going to be doing one for this woman also when she gets out, to help her regain her mobility and everything. It was a touchy situation. It was one of those touch and goes. But when she seen us, and after we left, I gave her a kiss, and I said, "I'll see you when you get out." And she said, "Okay." So that right there, before she had her doubts and she was worried, but when we left her, she said that she will see us when she gets out. And then we come outside, and that's when we come out, and the thunderstorm, the black clouds are over the hospital, the whole area really. In the distance, there's lightning going off. You can hear it popping and everything. And that's when we said, well, that storm's not for us. We did our battle. So, and the young woman up there is doing her battle too. So that's not for us. We beat this one. So as we left, as TrackerElla was saying, we was hitting that road, and you could see these large lightning strikes just all over the place, but it wasn't for us. That was not a storm for us. So we just kept going. We trusted our faith, our spirituality. People were pulling over, like TrackerElla was saying. They were, and to us, the rain wasn't. To us, it wasn't that bad. It's like they were getting hit hard, but we were getting just that side swipe of it. And so we just continued, and we said that these people have no faith. They should just keep going. And as soon as we broke out in front of them, just a little way up the road, it was all clear. And those people who didn't have faith to keep going, to keep pushing,
Took them about 5 minutes longer.
Yeah, they were left in the storm. And that's also a spiritual thing too. Don't get left in that storm. Keep moving forward. Keep going. There's a way. Keep going. So we get home probably 1 something, 2 something in the morning. Yeah. We got another early morning. Got some more things we got to do. We got to try to do some yard work and things. So we're trying to get our things done. We've been gone a month, and we're trying to get all this done. And but we do love those demon battles. We'll go and slap some demons around and get them out, away from you and things like that. We have been teaching that also. But so a friend of mine, military, he was a sergeant in the military, Gulf War. I was over there myself. and he has also other friends who are military. He is a Choctaw, also in the military, and so we're just getting back. We just, and then we have to go to the hospital, so we're just getting back from that. Um, and Tracker E finds a message that she knows that he's a friend of mine, and she hasn't met this person yet, but I've talked about him before, and he lives in a far different place, so I haven't even seen him in so long. So, but we watch his page, and sometimes he's always um, teaching children stickball, how to play the game, or um, teaching people how to speak Choctaw. He's also a language teacher. He teaches the kids and things like that. Ex-military, great guy. He's always there if you need him. He's also a runner, so whenever they have like uh, runs for charities or things like that, he'll get sponsors to. As far as he runs, that he'll get the sponsors to donate money to that charity and things like that. So he does a lot of good things for the community, but he puts his message up that he needs to get out of his house by tomorrow afternoon, and that if not, that he will be with the authorities. And so most of this doesn't make sense to me, like why, but I'm not worried about it. And then Tracker E, she asked, she goes, so what do you think? And I said, well, we can head out in the morning. And she said, okay. So we're preparing to leave out because he's getting up at 0500 military talk, but still 5 a.m. So we send a message that just to call us, we kind of want to know where to meet up, what's going on, or what time we have to be there, who's going to be there, those kind of the things. But we don't get a message, back yet. But the last message that was sent out was that he needed help. Of course, he's ex-military too, as I am, so we still have that kind of brotherhood kind of thing going on. But we've been friends. We played on the same stickball team, the Warriors team. We played with Tuscaloma. This is this group here, Tuscaloma, Oklahoma, 35 and up. We played with them, so we play on the same stickball teams. And great guy, I know him. Everybody knows him. So, but he's calling for help. So we load up around 6 in the morning. And we head down there, and our energy, we carry good energy. Everything works for us. We listen to the signs. We watch for any abnormalities that may be a message. Like one time a white sack floated across the road, and to me that means slow down. So I slowed down. I come over hill, and there's a highway patrol there. Next hill, there's another one. There's 2 traps there. Not that I was speeding or anything, but I do listen to those signs. So as we're traveling, going to our friends to help them out, help them move, we know a little about everything that's going on. And well, we get green lights all the way. I mean, there's one light that just, if we would have slowed down just a little bit, we would have made it through that one too. I mean, otherwise, the whole way that we had to go, which is maybe 90 or 100 miles or something like that, one way, that we would have just, not had one stop except for, I guess, that stop sign. But everything else was clear. It was a great day for us to travel. The sun was at our back, so we had, all that with us. Everything was flowing good until we got to the town where he was at, and the train, but it was an ending part of the train. But still, whenever we stop like that, we still haven't heard from our friend of where to go or where to meet him. I still know, but it's been a couple of years. And so this train, we catch the last part of that train. And to me, that's also another sign, because we had everything clear, flowing all up to that point. And so once that train did that, then I said, okay, well, to myself, I said, well, let's get something to eat, and then we'll try to contact again and everything. So people asked us if we were to go were for there, so we decided to eat there because we still didn't have any confirmation yet of exactly where to go, and we don't exactly know where to go. So it was right until we was leaving. Whenever we finished everything, that's when he messaged us and gave us the address and everything. And we loaded up and went. Oh, we set the GPS for his area, and we started driving to his house. And on this route, there was a highway patrol or a dark, unmarked there, right at the turn-in area of where he was, where his house would be if you turned up the road and went 2 streets up. And so, to me, that's a red flag in a way, because I kind of know the story. I just don't know the whole story of everything going on. So I'm very cautious and things like that. I want to do a little scouting, see what's going on. And that morning I was watching a little patrols going off and around in the area, but that was, to me, too much for a Saturday morning, 8 o'clock, 8 a.m., 9 a.m. kind of activity, especially in a small town. So heads up, everything, alerts going off. So the GPS tells us take a left, which that's exactly where we should have turned, but we keep going straight. And the GPS is yelling at us, turn, 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 which we have fun with the GPS when we do that. It's a long story, but so we just continue. We keep going. And we go all the way to the very end of the street, signal and turn, and we go up the road. And then we turn back and come back in the back way. We pull up and back into our friend's area, and he kind of comes out, kind of like who, and then when he sees us, he's like relief, I guess. And he's like, oh man, he goes, I didn't know who you were, what, and I like, well, you said you need some help. And he goes, yeah, he goes, but he goes, I didn't know who you were or anything. We hadn't seen him in a long time, and he don't know where we're driving. These people just show up and park in this parking lot, or after everything going on, and I kind of like to ask Ella to kind of tell part of this is because he was. I kind of knew, but as a leader or as a person, I just take the information in. I try not to ask any questions. I want to know what this person is wanting to tell me. So I just want to really listen, but Tracker E asks certain questions to get us more information. And but I'm just listening, and it is. I would kind of like Tracker E to kind of tell you about everything that happened. But I'd also like to let you know that during this time, Tracker E is also doing an interview for a book about Bigfoot and the activity that's trying to. They want to produce a small book for everyone to have information, background information, things like that. And they're also wanting to, what's it called? I can't think what it's called, where they're going to write out and put it in print like a stenographer or an ebook of just the information that's in here without the video and the artwork, or transcribe it and put that out into a small book so that people may want to just read all the information, because we do say listen to every word of that information so that you understand every bit of it. And we're going to be going over some things tonight also. But so she's giving an interview in this location, but right before that, he's kind of telling us what's going on and everything. He's showing us video and everything, and I'm just listening, but she's taking more information down and everything. So I'd like her to talk about that conversation, and what he was telling us is why he had to move at that certain time and date.
What he said was, and he said that a couple of days earlier there had been a standoff with over 40 of the
45 Chickasaw Light Horsemen, which is the Chickasaw Nation of Oklahoma, their tribal security force. Not a police force, a tribal security force.
Who showed up like that based on his ex-wife's phone call saying that he had said he was going to go out in a blaze of glory. He said if he did go out, the man's an entertainer and a singer, and he said if he was going to go out, he wouldn't go out quoting some stupid Bon Jovi lyric. So
and that he had a weapon.
Yes, and that he had a weapon. He had no weapon. There was no weapon. The entire thing was based on hearsay
And lies.
He's got
false accusations.
Yeah, and it could have been so much worse. So he told us that a friend that he had served in the military with overheard, he was a marshal, and that he overheard, he was just getting home and he overheard it on live stream, because when this had happened to this man, he live streamed everything that all of the people outside and everything that was going on as his defense. And thank God he had the sense to do that. But anyway, over the scanner, his friend who had served with him had heard his name, and he booked it over there to him and came walking past all of those officers and came up and went straight into the house and gave him a hug. And because he knew him to be a man of his word. He knew that this didn't sound like him at all. He didn't believe this story at all. He wanted to get it straight from his mouth, what was going on. And so we haven't even seen the live stream yet or anything. Our part in this is this man telling us how he had watched our video on the spiritual warfare the night before. And he said that absolutely everything that is happening to him right now is everything that we had talked about that was in there, that trying to break down of the will and attack from every single front, and including hitting him where his love for his children. And so that's his weak spot, and that's where they're going to attack at. And even if you're a nice person, you can be used for the dark side too, to attack someone else. So be careful whose stories you get a hold of, because it may be the wrong half of the story. So anyway, he was very, very grateful also for the help move him, but also just to be able to talk about the spiritual warfare aspect of it. And the week before that, he had basically in his life hit rock bottom, personally inside, and
he was almost broke.
And he had someone in the past, or that he knew, that kept encouraging him to talk to God and reminded him, God loves you, God loves you, God loves you. And a week before, he had talked to God and said, okay, look, my way's not working. You take care of me, and you believe in me, I'll believe in you, kind of thing. And he said, had he not had that, but then here comes a spiritual attack on him, super hard, even intensified more, because now he's pushing back against the dark side. So it slaps him around some more. And but then now he's seen the DVD and he understands exactly that that's just more part of it. And by the time that he had another friend that came and helped him move too. And go ahead, there's some more I'm forgetting.
No.
By the time there's some more details that he'll fill in. He'll do that.
Oh yeah, I'm just thinking of a couple things.
But he had a great outlook by the time we left. He had a place lined up. Just things were falling into place. He was getting a fresh start. He's got a heck of a lawsuit on his hands and all the evidence that he needs. And they did wrong, and it'll be interesting to see how that goes out. But that's not where we fit in there, other than the spiritual warfare part. But he's protected. He will be fine.
Yeah, we got there not knowing all this. He's telling us, he's showing the video. He said, look, this is the standoff. I was surrounded. 45, light horsemen. They had lights on his house. They were yelling, come out of the house. He hasn't done anything. There's no weapon in the house, anything like that. his friend who served with him over in the Gulf is actually a marshal in the next county. And when he heard his friend's name, who was actually, I think, his sergeant at that time, he booked it. And this is, marshal in another county came all that way just because he knows this person, just like we know him. Yeah, we would have booked it too, but we didn't know what was going on. But luckily, he is protected and watched over. So he has a lot of people on Facebook. There was people who drove all the way from other counties just to, witness or to be there to stop it if they had to. There was a lot of people pulling for this young man because everybody knows him. He's not whatever, all they said was that he had a gun in the house, in his own house at home while he's watching TV.
And he didn't either.
And he didn't even have a gun, but he's still in his own house watching TV. Mm-hmm. Now he's getting surrounded, police or the light horsemen, the Chickasaw light horsemen, or hitting his lights. They got these military vehicles in there, all on hearsay. No one's checked anything out. No one's even talked to him. No one's even came up to his door to ask him if anything like that is. He don't even know what's going on. He just knows that he's surrounded. And just like me, just like military, just like anyone in military would, you secure your thresholds. You secure your area. You don't know what's going to happen, who's going to come in, or what's going to be done. So you secure your area. You make as much traffic between both of you as you can, especially if you don't have a weapon and these other ones are armed. So so that standoff happens. His friend finally shows up, which I say finally, but he was booking it. He had his lights on. He's getting there as quick as he can because he knows this man. We know this man. A lot of people do. And like Tracker, he was saying, he walks through that crowd. He walks right up to the front door, walks inside, gives the young man a hug, and says, "How you doing, Sergeant?" That was his sergeant. So he's saying, how are you doing, Sergeant? There's still that military respect for each other. And he goes, "Well, I'll walk you out." He told him the story, what's going on. He goes, and actually the marshal told him the story because he didn't even know what was going on. So he's getting information about, he goes, "I don't even have a gun." Because I know, but that's the report. And then he says, "Well, they can search the house, whatever. They're not going to find anything. There's no weapons here." So anyway, he goes peacefully, and the judge doesn't want to hear anything, which is common, I would say, in this area because I hear a lot of things about that department and
He
that
wouldn't
whole
watch
county.
the live stream.
The judge wouldn't even watch the live stream. He didn't want to hear any or see any kind of evidence or information. But that's what happened like 2 nights before or something. And we're just getting in, or we're in these hospitals. We're helping other people, and now we're down here at his place, and he's informing us what's going on. And he's hungry when we first get up there,
and thirsty.
And thirsty.
They cut the water off.
They cut the water off at his home,
Mm-hmm.
so he had no water and no vehicle. And that's why he was calling, because he's like, "I don't have a vehicle. I got to get all this stuff out. I only got a certain amount of time or I lose everything." And it's for him and his son, who is autistic also. So we go to the store and get him some food and everything. We come back, but on that way, we're noticing that there are other official vehicles, I guess you would say, in strategic locations to see if he comes in and out of certain areas or who he comes in and out with. And so to us, this is all scouting work too. We're getting the opportunity and chance to scout without being noticed right now. Mm-hmm. So we make our way back, and we get in there and we let them know, there's some officials on this, these areas and everything. And while we're loading up, some more official vehicles drive by right in front. And he says that he does have to be out by 12, which we make. But we know that this whole area is a hot zone now. The covert operation is not covert anymore.
That's a line from Ishtar. This operation is no longer covert.
This operation is no longer covert, so pull back. So we decide that we need to pull out separately, and that we need to go in different directions, and that we'll meet up. So we head out first, and what we do, because doing our scouting, we know that they're on the low side and the high side, and these are the ways that you would go out if you're not expecting anything. These are the routes you would take, but we are expecting because we've already did our scouting. We know who's in the area and where they're at. So we pull out, take a quick left, and then take a quick right. This is exactly right in between um, the high and the low level, the occupied levels. So to us, that would be, if we were in a field, that would be us getting in the ravine and going between the high and the low level. That's a technique we would use in tracking if we had to. And so this is the same way we moved out that way. And we moved out cautiously. We did not cause a disturbance. We kept with the speed zone. We hit every bump perfectly. If you're not from that area, you would have bounced on certain areas, but we hit them perfectly the way you're supposed to. We made our way out. We caught traffic, just an open spot, because our energy is really good. So when we got to the main road, there was a spot right for us to jump out and go. As soon as we did, we caught the green light and we hit that back road, zeroed out. And when we was on that main road heading out, we only had one vehicle behind us, and it passed us, and it passed another car, and then we was clear behind us. So that's when we radioed back and we said, all clear here, see you in T-Town, which means the next town. That's where we was going to gas up and get food. We was not going to do it in that occupied area. And so we cut off communication there until they made contact with us in T-Town. And they asked us to meet up with them. We met up with them, and they came and told us that they were spotted, that they had marked vehicles follow them out, and all the way up to the county line pretty much. But like us, we expect things like that, and we scout our areas, just like we do in the field. So when you know certain areas, and you'll know certain tactics and certain ways to go through, especially with trackers, you'll always find a different route. We don't try to knock that mountain down. We'll go around it, over, through it, or under it. So there's always another way. You don't have to be visible, and don't be a shiner. Don't be out there in that sun. But so we made it out of that area. We met up with them in T-Town, the next area. That's when he came over and he thanked us for getting him out and helping him. And he told us, he put his hand in, and we kind of held hands, like a brother kind of thing. And he said, man, you always show up at the last possible moment, but you show up. And also, whenever we arrived there, he put his head down, kind of relieved, but kind of like unbelievable kind of thing. He said, man, he goes, I'm so glad you're here. But he goes, I didn't think you would come here. Not because you wouldn't come here, because it was such short notice, and I just put that out last night. And he goes, but man, I'm glad you're here, because it's another military buddy with him. Plus, him knowing me and Tracker E, that they know when we're out in the field, we're talking 25-foot Bigfoots, growling, snarling, hairy, strong, and things like that. So he knows that we don't think like the regular people, and we're not afraid of a man. We're not worried about things like that. We're not afraid of anything. We go out there and we face the biggest things that people would run from. So, and also have the military experience, the tracker experience, the techniques that we use. We were able to find that ravine and get out unnoticed. And the other person who was a sergeant in the military during the Desert Storm, Persian Gulf War, that he even said, he goes, man, we moved out like tactical unit. And then once we hit the highway, we did as a tactical. We stayed together. We didn't let any cars get in between us. We moved together. And when we got them home safely, got them to their area. And then that's also whenever they was wanting to buy us dinner after that and gas us up some more. And we said, no, we got to go. We said, we just came here to accomplish this mission. And now that we've accomplished this mission, that we're going to head out. And he thanked us for that. And he was talking about, well, what about your gas and everything? And we said, don't worry about that. We'll hook that up later. You take care of yourself. You get yourself a place to stay, and we'll contact later. And so that's the spiritual battles that we've been going through. And like I've told Tracker E before, I wouldn't. She's, the person I would want to be out in the field with. She knows what she's doing out there. I've seen too many other trackers make mistakes, which she doesn't. And she's the most serious tracker I've been with. I mean, there are other trackers that we have in the north and some other people that I would trust going out there with. And especially the people who get the DVD, study it, and use it. You are people I would trust to go out there with because you would know what we're looking for, the sounds, the scents, what they look like, the translucent, and from the different types of Bigfoots. You, I would trust, but as far as anyone else, I wouldn't go out there. There's just too many things that could go wrong, too many mistakes people make that we don't make and we won't make out there. But so that's where we've been, and we just got back yesterday.
We're going to work on the lawn soon.
And we're going to work on the house and the lawn soon. That's the goal. That's the goal. But if you do need help with things like that, or if you got Bigfoot in your area, you need confirmation, let us know, things like that. If we're not in your area, we got friends who we know who can track in your area to get you confirmation, because we don't want people thinking you're crazy or not to believe you whenever you're trying to warn them, but we can get that confirmation for you. So tonight we're going to go over the legend of time, which is the arrival of evil, which is the formation of the Bigfoot. So right now, we want to make sure that everyone's on the same page, and so that everyone's paying attention, because this is very important. If you don't know this story, this is the story, but it's also in the DVD. It's in the Bigfoot documentary. If you don't know this story, if you're a researcher, someone who's been doing this, and this story we're about to do, some of the information that we've been sharing, there's been researchers who's told us that over 30, and another researcher over 20, and another researcher over 10 years. So, compiled at least 30 years, they've never heard of some of the things that we talk about. This story that is in the DVD, the Bigfoot documentary, which you can use Cashapp, which is the quickest way for you to get that. Also, SMA Mommy, we will be sending yours out tomorrow. If you just heard this, and I hope you have, that we were on a couple of missions. We're back home now. And we will mail that out to you tomorrow. Today's Sunday. We couldn't do it today. And we tried to do it Saturday, but we didn't have any time. We had to stay focused on our mission and what we was doing. But we will get that out to you tomorrow. And anyone else, if you need to get this DVD, which everyone does need to get it, you can do that through the Cash App here. Do we have that? Did we ever copy that report down, or that comment, that review?
It's in photos, but it's not loading.
Okay. Well, we had another review in which, if you ever have watched this DVD, the Bigfoot documentary, if you have watched this one, it'd be great for a review. All the reviews that we've been getting, people really do need to see those reviews also, and how it's helped them and what they know now. Um,
And we'll post it on the Oklahoma Bigfoot Predator Watch page too.
we'll post that in the Oklahoma Bigfoot Predator Watch page also, but it'll be in clips, so you'll have to read every one of them. But it is another good review, and this one is more of the whole, very thorough of the DVD. So we'll post that. You can read that also. So so right now I want to make sure everybody's on the right page and the same page. We're going to go ahead and do some comments. How about that?
Okay.
We're going to do some comments. We want to just read the comments, acknowledge who's here and everything. Hi to everybody. But we also want to make sure that there's no conversations going on, because when we see conversations in there, then that means that you're not paying attention. You're thinking of something else. Mom's being powered, what color the Coca-Cola can is or something. But just to make sure that everyone's listening before we start this next section, that if you are, please don't do it anymore. And if so, we've had give warnings before. We don't want to delete anybody because we know this information is very important, that you do need to have it, but we can't be distracted or have other people distracted, because this also is a channel for our tracking team. So we're sharing information to our tracking team, but the other people are getting to listen in also. So it's not like a regular channel. It's not like an open channel for conversations and things like that. This is for our tracking team, but more people have joined in to listen to what we're talking about and all the information that we're sharing.
And after the video is loaded up, they can come back in on comments there too, because these will end up disappearing, the live stream one, so we won't even be able to see them very long after the show. Hey,
Abnormal Investigations.
That is one of our favorite channels out there. Absolutely stellar channel. A lot of truth there.
Yeah, and if you haven't went to
here.
Abnormal Investigations, go to their webpage on YouTube or their YouTube page and subscribe and keep up with them. They do give you a lot of actual events that are happening now or in the past, but they tell you the truth about what's going on out there.
You bet. And cuts right through the BS and gets information that most people can't get. They're a fantastic channel. And we'll talk about a lot of encounters too. A lot of stories with that family. Glad you're here. Very glad you're here. Mr. OICU B12. We have sound. Good. Linda Garcia. Hey, Linda. Glad to see you.
Glad to see you, Linda.
She's saying hi. Hi to Mike from Abnormal Investigations. Busy day. Yes, we understand. That's, some of it may have to come back and watch in pieces. Day off on learning what I can. Randy Moetz, glad you're here.
Glad to hear from you, Randy. Free the people. Back again. Great. That's awesome.
Says, hit the like button, folks. Excellent information as usual. Thanks, Tracker E and Jerry, and God bless. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Free the People.
Carla Hipkins. Hello, all. Hello. Joe Blow is actually going to speak up tonight. Everybody driving home.
Carla, I know we're on the channel here, but if you received your DVD, can you go to the PayPal link and push release on the funds, or it's going to sit in there for another 10 days, I think. And those are some of the things that we talk about when it gets released. We're able to do this, we're able to do that. And but it's just a quick button.
And we would love a review when you're done too.
And Carla. A review, yes. And Joe Blow, so happy to hear from you.
SMA Mommy, hey, thank you for all you are both doing. Thank you very
Thank you,
much.
SMA.
I love hearing this. It makes everything make sense.
Yes, the spiritual
Good.
war.
We're catching up, and then we'll get into the origin story. SMA Mommy, no problem. It will let me release the funds. I will do it as soon as it allows me in a few hours. Thank you.
Oh, cool, SMA.
Linda says, awesome story, sad but good outcome. You all are focused and persistent, which is a plus. God bless you all.
Yes, people just don't get it as much as we do. That, well, besides Linda and the people and the viewers here stay with us, that these demons are real. These energies are real. They're here. They're in those dark corners. Some people carry them. They can ride on people, especially people who lose weight but still kind of have that same weight. You can see that they've lost weight, but their weight scale will still be about the same. They're carrying them, and they'll ride on you as much as you let them. So that's all the comments for right now. So next thing we're going to talk about is the legend of time.
In the DVD, it's already listed in video form, this story. But we want you to get a peek into that tonight.
Yeah, I don't actually have all the pictures loaded. That is in this DVD. But in that DVD, you will see all the other pieces of artwork. But I will show you how it works and some of the hieroglyphs of the story. I'm going to put. Trying to think if I should put one photo up while I tell the story. Try that.
I'm gonna do the rainbow one.
Okay.
That one.
Okay, I'm going to read the legend of time, and then we're going to go over a couple of photos or images to show you what we're talking about, and then we can take a couple of comments, but we're going to explain all the way up to the dinosaurs. And now the legend of time is in the DVD. It's the first thing that starts the DVD because we wanted you to start off with the origin of this Bigfoot. So now, if at all possible, can you put the iPods down, the phone down, and listen to the story, and then we will answer all the way up to the dinosaurs, which is going to make perfect sense to you. And this is the only place that you'll hear this story. But it is in the DVD. The Legend of Time. Once before time, the sun, the moon created cosmic spiritual animals. Each cosmic spiritual animal is from and is part of the sun and moon's creation. The great elk, the great ram, the great bull, the great dog are the creation of the sun. The great rabbit, the great bird, the great goose, the great fish, and the great serpent are of the moon's creation. The true light of the spiritual cosmic animals, of the sun and moon, is a purplish, pinkish hue. The great sun is a half shape of man, as the great moon is the half shape of woman. Neither have calves or feet. Each of the cosmic spiritual animals have their own migration circle and place in each migrational circle. Many of the same spiritual cosmic animals are abundant. A creature appeared from the depths of the darkness. This creature arrived communicating that it was there only to aid or to help in any way allowed. This creature helped in many ways, but was always going from place to place when in the light of life. It would always return back to the darkness. The air of the spiritual world is fresh and clean as the waters are, and these creatures cannot breathe fresh air. It can only surface from time to time, which does not allow it to live as the cosmic spiritual animals. These predators would get as close as possible to the cosmic spiritual animals and touch them if it could. The great rabbit was resting. The creature would watch the cosmic spiritual animals breathe, which is nourishment in the spiritual world. A creature began to move in the direction of the great rabbit. That creature sunk its fangs into the great rabbit. In an instant, red cosmic plasma filled the creature. Pure energy of the cosmic spiritual animal, rabbit, began to fill the creature with energy as well. The creature became ecstatic. It began a feeding frenzy in the great rabbit's spiritual world. The great rabbit began to run to inform all the cosmic spiritual animals. Migrational circle to migrational circle, the great rabbit warned all, spreading the message. Faster and faster, the message of the deceiver was shared to all. The creature began to follow the great rabbit, world to world. One by one, each cosmic spiritual world came under attack. The great ram, the great elk, the great dog. Each cosmic spiritual animal engaged in the life and death struggle. The great elks charged, lowering their heads, embedding their horns into creature after creature. The great elks also are bitten one after another. A bite like fire, a bite that causes paralyzation, a bite that causes plasma to stream from the eyes, the ears, the nose, and mouth. World after world, battles are being fought. The creature, the deceiver, is skilled at capture. Each spiritual cosmic animal are being fed upon. The creatures are ingesting the precious spiritual plasma and energy. The sun and moon are also attacked from larger creatures that hid in waiting. The sun is attacked from behind and is bit on the neck. As paralyzation began, the sun gathered the spark of life he carried and sent the spark of life to Mother Moon. Mother Moon accepts the spark of life. The creatures pull to bend the sun backwards, using a sticky film line to keep the sun in place. The energy line from the sun to the moon is still apparent. The predators follow the path of light to the moon. Sky Woman places the spark of life from the sun into herself for safety. She too then is attacked. Through the portal, the spark of life traveled, guided by the sun and moon. The joining of the sun and moon energies create the first of the spiritual cosmic being, a spiritual man-child baby being called Earth. Earth is a cosmic spiritual being of the spiritual energy from the sun and moon. The powers to stand with strength, with balance in the physical and spiritual world. During the joining of man and woman energy, each spiritual cosmic animal also combined with the energy of the sun and moon. This happened to creation all at one time. The path of light flowed into Sky Woman. Creation. The portal door closes. The creatures follow the path of light to the moon and attack. Attacking in the same manner, the moon also begins to become paralyzed. Mother Moon, her motion begins to slow. Mother Moon places her hand over her midsection to protect the spark of life, the creation of Earth. As the creatures look for a way to enter the portal to Earth, the great serpent arrives and engages in the battle of death. Fighting for the moon, twisting and twisting, the great serpent is bit again and again. As the great serpent begins to slow, Mother Moon is pulled backward and upside down. Now, partial of the Earth's view is facing the darkness of the abyss. The cosmic spiritual being known as Earth sprang life and memory. Earth. Earth is a living, spiritual, cosmic baby being. The attack was throughout each world. The deceivers were subduing and feeding upon each world. The great rabbit, being pursued, followed the path of light, also to the moon. The great rabbit found the portal of the moon and entered. Down the great rabbit entered Earth through the portal hole. Protected by Mother Moon, Earth continues to develop. The world of Earth is in the creation time. Man is advanced with knowledge of the spiritual world, the power of all inside, stored safely. Man has become a living, spiritual, powerful, physical being. Eons pass as civilizations form in an instant. The spiritual, cosmic place of Earth is only for man. Man watches as each spiritual, cosmic animal arrives. The cosmic baby being Earth, the home and caregiver of all the cosmic spiritual animals. Earth, spirituality created man, the physical man in a spiritual world, a dream, a thought of Earth's spirituality. Spiritual beings in a dream world. From the body of Earth, man is a powerful being with many gifts of power. At this time, the great serpent is curling up around the deceiver. The great serpent is bit over and over as the struggle of life is fought for. Each bite is like fire. Flashes of light and the sounds of pain are heard above. The great serpent rose and rose, protecting the moon. The great rabbit who is inside the moon finds the cosmic baby being Earth and enters into one of the portals of Earth. Earth is shaken violently. The world begins to move. The worlds above begin to change. Now, watching the great serpent's battle of life come to a stop, the great serpent slowly is turned over and placed upside down. The earth is shaken violently again and again. The great serpent sacrifices for earth, moves one more time, and falls downward upon Earth's face to help protect Earth by falling between Mother Moon's hands. The great serpent lays across Earth's eye a sharp, pointed appendage sliding over the body of the great serpent. Another sharp appendage is seen sliding over. This is the first time we, as man, had ever seen such a creature. Its face is a gruesome, horrific sight. The deceiver's sharp appendage struck and pierced the sky above. The left eye of Earth is pierced. The world shakes. Salty, dark, murky water flows into the piercing. The waters fall from above, downward. Fresh air is flowing out through the piercing as well. Eons of life are flooded as the waters fall violently. The coldness of the dark waters begin to drop white, solid, crystallized stones. The earth shakes. The waters engulf the land in an instant, rising to the highest mountain. Earth pushes land upwards, above the waters for the people. The Choctaw people gather at the top of the mountains, watching as the salty, dark, murky waters fill the land to the highest tops. Everything, everywhere, death arrived. 3 comets came crashing from above as well. The earth shakes. Darkness covers half of Earth's face. The salty, dark, murky waters fill the Earth's left eye. 3 comets, 3 pillars, or 3 giants with many arms, beginning to devour all the living and the dead. As people who lived in the mountain regions witnessed, every animal of earth run into the cities, as birds fly past the people and the cities in flocks. A mist falls from above, People begin to become trapped in the falling mist. Giants, creatures are seen in the distant horizon. People run to the highest mountain as raging water approaches. The creatures pursue the animals and the people to the highest tops, devouring. All are eaten. The DNA of the great serpent is mixed with the DNA of all animals eaten. The cosmic predator ingested man as well and begins to lay eggs and mixing DNA. This forms the predators with the DNA of serpent, ram, man, all being mixed and all that remained. When the great waters receded, birds flew back to where land was visible. The creatures wait for the birds. As each bird lands, each bird is eaten. Now, the creature mixes the bird DNA with all that is eaten. The same is done with the fish. With the waters receding, the predators make its way across the land. The great bull, more man DNA is ingested by consumption. The great goose, the great dog. Many predator forms are now abundant everywhere. Everything is now being mixed with the cosmic spider predator DNA. In the mixture, man's DNA is eaten. The predator slowly takes the form of a crawling man-like being that through time, with the ingestion of more people, become more man-like. People, where the sun rises, watch the catastrophe and the formation of the first man-like predator with a bite like fire and is a cannibal. Man now has darkness and night. My nose is getting dry. Now, on some of those pictures, I want to also go back and show you that this is the Aztec Sunstone. This is the Sistine Chapel. This is the artwork by Michelangelo. This is on the Sistine Chapel. This is on the Aztec Sunstone. This is the piercing of the left eye of the baby, the man-child baby being called Earth. Now here's the Egyptian Dendra Zodiac. Now, in all of these stories, also in the DVD, Legend of Time, it talks about the first words, really. If we were all paying attention, which I hope we were, that just the first sentence, once before time, before we ever had nighttime, before we were ever attacked, we talk about having the pinkish, purplish, pinkish hue light. Now that light, if you're in that kind of a light or any kind of plant, you'll see that that plant just continues to grow, to flourish. It doesn't produce fruit yet. and it doesn't wilt and it doesn't die. It just flourishes in that light. Now that's the light that we had before the attack. Before the attack. Let me see if I got a picture of it. But this is also what we're talking about here. Now that this yellow, the yellow part, or the statue looking thing, that is the god M, also called the sun god, also called the second sun. Uh, spiders are called comets and pillars and giants. So this piercing right here by the second sun, or the sun god, is what we're talking about. Now you'll find this piercing also in the Aztec sunstone, but you'll also find the same piercing here in the Dendra Egyptian zodiac. But what we look for is this part. This. Now you'll see the man standing upside down, just to the smidgen of it, just right here where it comes in, right here. You're going to find the appendage right in this circle part right here. It's just a little, like rounded area with a little hook. That's the spider's appendage in the Egyptian Dendra zodiac, right there before the serpent. That's also a serpent statue. There's the man with the tail, and then there's the appendage with the serpent DNA. Now that was also in the Legend of Time story about the mixture of the DNA. Well, let me see if we can hold this up. Let's see if we can. But here's one of the artworks, and I don't think I have this one up, so I'm going to show it to you here. But this is artwork of the world being turned upside down and that we're facing the darkness. But also, if you turn it upside down, you'll notice that let me see if I got it. Okay, now this artwork is showing here that the world is upside down, and that what we would think of as the stars being above us is actually we're upside down. So we're facing downwards. The sun used to rise in the west before we got turned upside down. North is south, south is west. Now, whenever the spiders began to pull the moon over to bend her backwards, well, it didn't. These other pictures didn't load, but the moon. So this is artwork also of the moon in the darkness, and the light of the moon is what shines. But if you can see there, that is to be a female or mother moon inside that sack being bent over. It's inside of a spider sack bent over backwards. And a spider will try to bend its prey over backwards and let it snap back over, but also to already be on the inside of that whenever it snaps over, so it can eat the soft tissue. But you'll see that the spider always tries to break the back of its prey. But also, the spark of life from the sun in the story was sent to Mother Moon, to the moon. The sun was attacked. All of the cosmic animals are subdued right now, but they were attacked first at that time. So every planet is a cosmic animal wrapped up in a ball. And we're talking giant spiders. We're not talking 5-foot spiders that you may find here. We're talking as big as planets, spiders. And space is not air. Space is water. It's a black and dark abyss. It's water. It's the abyss, the dark water, the black water. So being upside down and turning sideways, upside down and backwards, that we're only catching light from this eye, from the A. The left eye is pierced, and you're going to see a lot of stars, movie people. They're going to have that left eye covered, and that's a satanic group who's saying we're here only through this. There's certain people who look like us, but they're not us. You'll have to understand it one day. But right now we're talking about the moon, and that we, at the spark of life, was sent from the sun to the moon, and the spark of life was put inside the moon for safety, which the sun and moon's energy began to create the earth. So the earth is a cosmic, living, spiritual baby being that still needs to be birthed. But the earth is inside the moon. We still haven't been birthed yet. We are past our due date right now, and the earth has been in trauma since that appendage was stuck in the left eye. So we are inside the moon. We haven't been birthed yet. We are a dream or a thought, just like the story says, of earth. We are the perfect beings for the purpose of being warriors to defeat the evil things that are here now. Although the demons have been trying to take our form because we are the perfect form.
The way that this figure is flipped around in the moon, if you researched at all into Jeffrey Dahmer, he had a statue that had that same posture. And the Podesta brothers, which a lot of truth seekers know about them, but a very evil couple of brothers up there, high politically, but they have a lot of art, and one of the statues that they have is also this same statue with this. They put the truth out there in front of your face, but the truth hidden in plain sight. So the really weird evil people love the statues of the tormented posture of this body of the.
And so we're going to talk a little bit right now about the Legend of Time is a story passed down through hieroglyphs, manuscripts, word of mouth. It's all put together for you to know what really happened. But there's it's in the hieroglyphs, it's in the stone tablets, the Egyptian Dendra Zodiac, the Aztec Sunstone, the Ojibwe Sky Map, the Voynich manuscript, the Fibonacci sequence. Just a little different mixture in the Fibonacci sequence, but it is of the same of how we are made. But I'd also like TrackerElla to help us with passages that are in the Bible that talk about this same story, just in a few different ways that it can be told.
The main thing that I would focus on is Genesis 6 for now, and we'll have more verses later. But Genesis 6 is where um, the angels, it says that they came down and took wives of the human women. They didn't just take wives, they raped them, and they were not meant to be part divinity and part human. And so the Nephilim that were created, the offspring of those rapes, created beings that should never have been. And when they were created, as they grew, they consumed everything that they consumed, and they raped everything, and they were much more stupid than the original fallen angels that came down. And if it hadn't been for God putting a stop to it, and they would have consumed everything that was alive. But they didn't all disappear, because the Bible also will tell you, as in the days of Noah and after that, that there were giants, and they still exist, and there are different mutations of them. So if you'll just get to studying Genesis 6, start there. And Steve Quayle has an entire website of nothing but, or a section of his website that has all the information, newspaper articles you could ever hope to look for on giants, if you want to go from that angle and research more about the actual proof that the Smithsonian covers up about these different odd, bizarre creatures that should not exist. All the stories we hear about centaurs and minotaurs and goat man, lizard man, reptilian, these are all original predator that has infected and infested everything on our planet, on our world.
Yeah, you can start making predator animals just by knowing these stories, because like whenever it talks about in the story, it says eons of life are flooded as the waters fall violently. The coldness of the dark waters begin to drop, white, solid, crystallized stones. And in the ancient stories, this is talking about glaciers of ice falling from the sky. It wasn't just water that came for 40 days and 40 nights. It was glaciers of ice as well. Now, this caused the Ice Age right after that. And if you also look in your history, you're going to see that the arthropod, which is the spiders, the two linked or the two segmented, that the arthropod was before the dinosaurs. And remember, when we said giants, we're talking spiders the size of planets. We're not talking 5-foot spiders or something like that. We're talking giant spiders. So that giant DNA came through. There's also, with that DNA, it fluctuates, because you can have a giant predator, or you can also have a small predator, or like what people call a dwarf or something. But it's the predator DNA forms to be the best predator, whether it's a big one or a small one. It's whatever would be the best predator in that area at that moment. And when a spider eats something, even if it's dead, it will still produce eggs and make another spider, but that spider uses that DNA to produce the next offspring. So this is where you'll get the jumping spider, the fish spider, the bird spider, the bell spider, the wolf spider, the grass spider. But this DNA was mixed also. So whenever the Ice Age happened, the spiders, they're still eating. It's, a spider's hair, the spider's appendages, that whenever the spider, with the serpent DNA that came through and was ingesting man and rams at that time, and the reason the rams were in the next category, if you look at the Egyptian Dendrozodiac, it's going to go predator, serpent, ram, bird, fish, bull, goose, dog. But that's only because at the time with the water so high that the top of the mountains there was man and mountain animals, which were the rams. They were already up in the mountains, so they just went a little higher. So that's why in the Egyptian Dendro Zodiac you're going to see the serpent. We're going to see the predator DNA, that little appendage that we showed you. When you look at this Egyptian Dendro Zodiac, you're going to look at the top left right here, right there before the serpent. That's the spider's appendage that's coming through. Let's see if I. But this right here is that appendage you start with. Remember the story, the serpent, the DNA. Now, whenever you got the serpent that's eating the rams and man, now you're getting Tyrannosaurus Rex. Now that when all the rams get eaten, the next thing is that the birds flew back looking for land. The birds were eaten, and that bird mixture was put into the spiders to be mixed with the serpent, the giant DNA, but remember it's predator DNA. So you had the Tyrannosaurus Rex, and now you're having what's the name? A pterodactyl. You're having a bird, a prehistoric, vicious bird with teeth and claws. It's got that predator DNA. It's got that bird DNA now. And it's got that serpent DNA, but also man too. So you'll also see men or man with tails in the Egyptian Dendro Zodiac. You'll see them with wings. You'll see them like Sobi. You'll see, which is a Egyptian god, which is the alligator faced god. You'll see the falcon god. You'll see statues of people with wings, with tails. That's how you make a dragon, actually. You have a ram for the dragon, for like the Tyrannosaurus Rex. You have the goose wings. You have the scales of the fish. You have the claws. You got the tails of the serpent. You got the body of the bull. You got all that DNA mixed in one. That's where what they call the seven families come from. But in all of the hieroglyphs and everything, it shows that this DNA also formed a Bigfoot in that area. But it also, like with the water, when it started eating the fish, it started changing the fish. But it also had the spider DNA with the serpent DNA with man DNA, which made a octopus. An octopus that had crustacean clawed hands, and that's also in the page of 420 in mythology, if you ever find that book. Greek mythology, page 420. It's a Japanese art, but it's also the same story as the Legend of Time. If you look at that, you're going to see DNA mixture of how they made falcons, predatory vipers, but it's all the mixture of that Bigfoot DNA, of that predator spider DNA is first. It's the predator spider DNA. Now, I think he's the one that called that something.
Original predator.
Yes, the original predator. There's Bigfoot and all that came later, but before it was just known as a predator. And so the original predator DNA. The arrival of evil, and that's in stories. Those are actual recounts of like the Navajo, the Hopi, the Choctaw, the Zuni. Those stories. It talks about the arrival of evil. It talks about giants that look like that were kind of formed like children, but giants with 8 legs falling from the sky. Also, it talks about as far as the arrival of evil, as far as the DNA of the predator reaching like North America, um, it was crawling at that time. It wasn't standing. It wasn't man. It didn't have fully the man form at that time. It was still misconfigured, kind of distorted, disfigured, and everything. But with the ingestion and the consumption of more man, it did become more man-like. But it's only the frame, it's only the shell. It's not a man at all. It's not a human. It's just using that form to get close to you, to get your comfort down. It is a predator. That's its job. Um, Also, we have some pictures up, but the Earth is a baby symbol. If you make a B, just make a B and then make another circle around it, like the cell or the sac or something.
Mm-hmm.
It goes.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at a baby, an embryo baby in the cell, you'll see that it forms that B, like the letter B. But also, that's also called the Book of Life. The Earth, at that time, it's called the Book of Life, for the B that goes around for the egg. But that B was also called the Book of Life. And that's saying that anyone who's here on Earth will have their name in there. Which, if you're here, your name is here. Your name is in the Book of Life. It is here. Life is given to you. Earth is the umbilical cord for us. It gives us the plants, the minerals, the water, the air, everything that we truly need to continue. Let's see. Now, whenever the arthropod age arrived, when we first got the predators, it was before the dinosaurs. But it also started with the insects and also with the centipedes and the millipedes. Then it went into like the spiders, ticks, even lice, um, scorpions, and even crabs. All these are predator animals. And you have to also look around you: a crow, a raven, a hawk, an owl, a blackbird.
Even plants become predators.
Plants, there's plants that are predators here. Even the Venus flytrap, things like that. Trees, we have predator trees here. The pine tree, the trees that are not supposed to be here. It's only supposed to be hardwood trees that give off oxygen are the only trees supposed to be here. Pine trees are not supposed to be here. Balsa trees are not. California maples, they're all
GMO.
they're all GMO, genetically altered trees, but they do become predator trees by like a hardwood tree will burn, but you have to age it. It has to be, when you try to burn a live one, it's very hard to do. But like a California maple, they will cinder. A pine tree will burn hot. Um, so these two combinations keeps fires going, and you'll see pine trees and softwood trees planted together. These are also plants that push Bigfoots out, also cause oxygen levels to go down. Everything's tactical if you just know tactical situations before they get to you. But all these animals and things, the crustaceans, the centipedes, the millipedes, everything like that, they're all predators. Um, this is not a predator world, but we do have a lot of predators, and there's a lot of people who don't even know what a predator looks like, even though they're looking right at a hawk. They're looking at a crow. They're looking at a raven. Recognize these predators. Get them out of your area. You don't want ravens around. You don't want crows. You don't want owls, because they are messengers for death. They are messengers for Bigfoot. That food is over here and in this area, in this location. They will spot on you. They will let a Bigfoot know that you're out here camping by yourself, or a few people out here. They will, and if you watch, campers will report things like that.
And those are also the same birds and things that show up in paranormal situations.
Yeah, the Legend of Time is a story that you need to know. It's in the DVD. All this information. Uh, we didn't put in the Egyptian Dendra Zodiac because that didn't belong to us, but the artwork is. You didn't get to see all the artwork, but it is in that DVD. Um, Everything we put in, we did ourselves. We did the whole documentary ourselves, um, and we're still doing everything ourselves because we really don't trust any other agency to make sure that you get the truth. Many times, other organizations have wiped some of the information off or just put what they thought was acceptable for their point of view. So this is the only way that we can get this information to you and your family is directly through us. You can use the Cash App, which is a $ capital Tracker, capital Ella. That's all one sentence together. We're trying to step away from the PayPal and everything right now because it's um, just too many buttons pushed, and we don't want to make anything complicated. Um, but we do recommend that you do get this DVD. Uh, and also, we will be making the spiritual cleansing DVD as soon as we can get our internet up and running. And that is just going to be as a love offering. We're going to make that DVD, show you how to cleanse your house, um, what herbs to use, and how to do it. Um, but that's also going to be just as a love offering, just enough to cover at least, you know, the the postage. We're not. We just need everybody to do that too, because you do need to cleanse your homes, especially if you have Bigfoot activity. And I would cleanse my home as like we are now, um, even if you don't have Bigfoot activity. Now we do have little segments of Bigfoot activity, but nothing like it was when we first got in this area. We've deterred them from our area. We do know that they are more active around our neighbors now. Um, Not that these pushed over there because this wherever they're at, they got a whole hunting area. So we just deterred them from us. We've taught people who have been paying attention how to deter Bigfoots from their areas, and it has worked 100% every time. But we do want to also instill that if you can get this DVD whenever you can, it will help you. You will learn so much. You'll be able to help other people after you view it. This story that we read tonight is in the Bigfoot documentary. It begins it. And if you're just now watching this story and then uh, get the DVD, at least you'll have this up there also to help you with that first story. And if you haven't, go back and listen to that story over and over until you can get and grasp it. This is spiritual. Everything is spiritual here. It started in the cosmic worlds above, which is now below. Everything is upside down and backwards. You have to know that stuff to start correctly. If you start with the pyramids, if you start with the first writing or stuff like that, you're not back far enough. We took you all the way back. That's the beginning. That's the origin. Those are the mixtures. That's the DNA of the Bigfoot. And even in the DVD, I'm interviewed by another tracker who also is involved with Bigfoot activity, who has also got connection with actual testing, blood samples, and things like that, who do confirm everything that we do say in the DVD about the DNA. And this is the only place you're going to get this information. No one else is going to share this to you. On this DVD, it has more information than anyone has ever put out. You can be way further over any researcher. You'll know who doesn't know. You know, if you go out to any Bigfoot outings and they're doing certain things, you're going to know these people don't know what they're doing and they're dangerous and somebody can get hurt. So it's better that you leave, get a refund, and go ahead and get out of there. But you just really have to know all this information to be the very safest while you're out there.
I would say, I know it's mind bending about them being, having the spider DNA in their origin, but for those of you that have been learning about Bigfoot for a while, you've heard of the spider crawl. That's, you'll look at that in a whole different way now that you know that. And if you will study the hunting habits of spiders and how they work, you will be shocked at the similarities of Bigfoot. I think that was one of the biggest, most mind-bending things that for me was going from the moment of, wow, well, okay, I'll consider this because I've heard enough weird things and seen enough weird things. But when I actually started comparing, it was like puzzle pieces clicking into place. It makes so much sense. And so their multiple DNA is the main thing people need to know. They're looking for just one thing, but there are many things.
Yeah, and also in the DVD where we're interviewed, when we talk about if they would test for fish DNA, if they would test for the bird DNA, just like Legend of Time talks about, that they'll find this DNA. And that interviewer also said, well, yes, we have ran tests, and yes, you are correct that is what we found. So we give you the truth, we give you the exact knowledge of everything, the origin, the DNA, and when you watch that DVD, you're going to understand that you know what you need to know, and you know what to do after that, because we do help you with deterrence and things like that. Also in the DVD, we don't just it's something that you've never seen before, and you just have to listen to all the information. And once you do, you become a person who can protect others and protect yourself, and you know it's time to warrior up also.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm. So
that's enough to absorb for tonight to me. With the
we're gonna
who don't know that.
We're gonna go ahead and close tonight, and we will see you tomorrow night.
Oh, should we go to comments real quick?
Oh, yes.
I didn't forget y'all.
You're right. We are supposed to do the comments before we start off, and that was my little Nick.
Linda Garcia, I have been to the Sistine Chapel in the Vatican City. It's beautiful but creepy, including the altar, what is underneath it, that the Mass is televised to the world. You are absolutely correct.
And also, also that Mass, if you watch, when they bring the wafer down during the winter solstice, that's a symbol of eating the sun. And you'll see that also at this winter solstice.
And even the audience hall is a giant serpent's head. It's just all clear as day, and you wonder how people don't see those things.
But with this information from the DVD, you can also see all that stuff.
Yeah.
Jeremy, Alabama.
Hi, Jeremy. Glad you're back. Linda says Steve Quayle and Tim Alberino made a good team. Tim knows much of the plumed serpent of the Latin countries and the plan for the new Atlantis. L.A. Marzulli and Tom Horn. Yes, I like all of their. Well, I don't know Tim Alberino, but Steve Quayle and then L.A. and Tom Horn. Very good researchers. Halito from Charles.
Halito, Charles. Hey, did your DVD come in yet? I think I'm supposed to be there today.
I got my DVD yesterday, Jerry and Tracker.
Oh,
hey.
Hey.
Glad to hear it.
Great.
Glad to hear it. And that's it.
Joe Blow just come on.
Oh, Joe Blow. Okay, everybody, have a good night. Thank you.
Okay, so at the first, we did the announcements. We talked about the spiritual warfare that we're going through. But we're actually not the ones going through it. Other people are. We done had our battles, and we done kicked some tail around there. So now whenever we're called, whenever friends need us, or even if they don't think that they need us, we will show up. And we just happen to have that um, the perfect timing. We always tell people never give up hope. Don't ever give up hope. And it seems like whenever we show up, we give them.
And that's a God thing too. Just leaving yourself open to okay, now just that faith of
Yeah.
okay, we're ready for the next mission.
Yeah.
The next thing.
We're ready for the next thing. And also make sure you pray for yourself. Don't forget to pray for yourself. That's the strongest one because you're praying for yourself, for your body, for yourself, for everything that you got, and everything that you have. You can't enjoy that house without you. So pray for yourself.
Nobody else is more special to God than you are. Every one of us has that same opportunity to talk to Him. You don't have to have a third party to speak to God for you. They can, but you do it first. You join that. Mr. L. Leo from Indiana, very good info. We need this information to help us learn and prepare for the battles we're going to face currently and our near future. You're absolutely right. When in Revelations, when it talks about the creatures that will come up out of the ground with the serpent, with the scorpion sting in their tail, uh, different odd things like that. That's not just metaphors, and I think a lot of people think that they are, and we're here to tell you that these are real. These are real creatures and real mutations and abominations, and to prepare for things. And when I laugh, it's just in a can you believe this? But it's true kind of thing, not in a we don't take it serious kind of way. It's just a gallows humor, I suppose.
And even we always talk about when we go out in the field, and if we've got other people with us, uh, we always say each one of us, if something happens, each one of us is going to have our own battle. That's the same thing. Don't think that when they call it the end game, that there's going to be millions of people watching one last man standing. No, they're talking about eating everybody to
Like a
get
locust going through a field.
to get to that last man, and that last man is not supposed to know any of this information. That's how the end game works. They get the uneducated to be there at that door to fight for everything, to know everything, and that one that doesn't know any of this, the world is sunk. But we do know all this, and we are sharing all this information with you. Don't let it be the last man standing. Let it be, hey, we're all going to be standing there.
And teach your kids. Teach
your
them to be fighters. If something happens to you, who's going to protect them? Teach your wife to be a fighter. Teach, don't just hoard the protection all to yourself. Teach them that they're warriors too, spiritual warriors and physical warriors.
Everyone in your family has to know what you know. Don't think your kids are too young to learn all the information that you can give them now. The warrior's biggest mistake is to let him think that he has time, or she.
Never give up hope.
Never give up hope. So
Jeremy says, right on. That's right.
All right, Jeremy.
And to everybody, your encouraging words and the things that you do for us and the things that you say to us, and just God bless y'all. Thank you very, very much.
Yes.
You all know who you are.
And we do appreciate everybody coming back, catching the streams, catching up, and sharing this information with others. It is very important information to share. A lot of people have never heard this story before. These spiritual wars are happening right now. People are under attack right now. Some people don't even know they're under attack. They just think they're having a bad day or a bad week or a bad month. But these demons are around. They are real, and they will use anything they can to get that energy from you or get you. Don't take them lightly. So We will see y'all 2 nights from now, which will be a Tuesday, I believe.
And we don't know what that subject is yet. Little Panda Wood, hey, you're back again. What do you think about the Skinwalker?
Skinwalker is just, it's the same predator DNA as a Bigfoot, as a dog man. Some look like a bear on this side, some look like a wolf on this side, some have the human in the middle, deer, different DNA. So whenever they turn, could look like a bear, drop down on all fours, looks like a dog. Just be aware that they have multiple DNAs, and just turning their head will make people think it's a deer, a bear, dog, wolf, pig. You know, they can do that with just turning their head. Some of them are slim as cougars, slim as panthers. Some are bushy, furry, all different DNAs, all different developments or forms.
And there are humans that will do black magic, very, very wicked things to receive energy and power from demons. Some of those are called skinwalkers, but they're they're evil and they're not all powerful. You don't have to be afraid. You are protected if your faith is strong enough. Their fear is what they use to control you. The fear that they project at you.
So no fear, warrior up. Learn as much information as you can. Get as much knowledge as you possibly can. Be that strongest warrior for your people, for your house, for your home. We will see you in 2 nights from now, Tuesday, 7 p.m. Central Time Zone. Tracker and myself will say hi and good night. If you can, whenever you can, get this DVD, get it to your family as quickly as possible. Learn everything on it. All this will make perfect sense. These stories, everything. So,
we don't know what the next show is going to be, but it'll be good.
But it'll be good. It'll have the information that you need. So thank you all very much. We will see y'all again in 2 nights from now, 7 p.m. Central Time Zone, next Tuesday. Everybody have a great night.
And God bless y'all. Lord, protect everybody and keep them safe. Thank you. Amen.
Amen.